Building a relationship is absolutely vital if you want to sell to your list. If you don't have a relationship with your list, you're going to struggle to make sales. You're going to find that your conversion rate is going to be right down. You're going to find that your open rate is going to be low. Building a relationship is something you do no matter whether you're sending messages out that are handwritten every time or whether it's an autoresponder sequence. You need to make sure that the autoresponder sequence, if that's what you've used, is designed to build that relationship with your list and establish a level of trust. If you do that, you'll find that you will sell products. A good relationship can significantly increase your conversion rate for any sales message. I've known of joint venture partners and affiliates who can email their list and get conversion rates of sort of 8 to 10% if it's something that's good, because they've got a good relationship. The list trusts them, and the list knows that the only thing they're ever going to be sent is valuable information and good resources, and that they're not going to be, sent any old promotion and any old product because the list owner wants to earn a few bucks. Because the list owner's built this good relationship, they get an incredible conversion rate. But as I said, you've got to balance content and sales. If you're constantly sending sales messages, you're not building a relationship. People do not like being sold to. It's human nature. Ask anybody you know and ask them if they like to be sold to, and I guarantee they'll say no. People hate it. Think about it. If you're in a shop and someone comes up and says, starts trying to sell you something, you say no and walk away in most cases, unless you've got a real interest, which is a rarity. It's easier, I feel, to build a relationship with handwritten autoresponders, i.e. you write the message every time you send it. However, that can be actually quite difficult to do. It might be easy if you've got one list, you've got 5 lists, it gets hard, 10 lists, very hard. Over that, almost impossible. So what you need to do is handwrite your autoresponder sequence as if you are handwriting it to them every time. So include a few personal stories, talk about yourself, do what you need to build a relationship with them. Don't be dishonest, because if you're dishonest you may forget and later on you say something else and you get caught out and suddenly you've lost all that trust you've built. So build a relationship with handwritten autoresponders. You don't have to write the messages every single time. You may want to do that for 1 or 2 lists if you've got particular favourite lists or niches that you're really keen on. But in general, if you handwrite the autoresponders, so as if you were talking to them, as if it was a handwritten message every time, what you'll find is you'll get a good sequence of messages that will build a relationship. Now, you may decide to have a main list or a niche list that you're particularly keen on that you decide to handwrite every single time. If that's the case, that's fair enough. Feel free to do it. Be aware that you need to make sure that the messages go out roughly at the same times, and that way people know what to expect. But you don't have to do that. You can load up an autoresponder sequence with pre-written messages, and that will work just as well. Your niche lists would typically be pre-written autoresponders. These may be ones that you've bought, or they may be courses that you've purchased, or whatever it might be. But you're not going to be able to do handwritten emails every single time, send them out as a broadcast to your list, simply because it's physically impossible. What you're doing when you're building a relationship with them is establishing yourself as an expert. You want to become an authority figure. You want to become someone that they look at and go, yeah, he knows what he's talking about, or she knows what he's talking about. So, you want to get that level of expertise, someone that they know they can go to, someone that they know will provide them with a good amount of information. You always need to be professional with your list. Whenever you're dealing with them, be professional in every way. Never, put down other people's products, never put down people, never, be too controversial. Things like, for example, if you don't like the current president or king or whatever it might be, don't start ranting to your list about it, because you may find that half your list does and they're really keen on them and unsubscribes. So always be professional. Sure, talk about yourself, talk about what you've been doing and things like that, but don't enter into controversial grounds. Things like politics, religion, sex, things like that, are all subjects you should really avoid with your list, unless your list is signed up for that sort of information. You know, if it's a list that wants information on subjects like that, then you can send it. Now, one thing you need to do is don't sweat about unsubscribes. People are going to unsubscribe all the time for various reasons. They haven't got time, whatever it might be. Don't worry about them. Think of it as your list becoming more targeted and cleaner. You know, you're going to get unsubscribes. Just let them sort of float past you. Don't worry about them. You're always going to find that for whatever reason people are going to want to unsubscribe. Usually it's not personal, but even if it is, it doesn't matter. It's just cleaning your list. You're going to go and get some new subscribers and you'll be fine. Now, one thing that you do need to avoid is the bandwagons. Yeah, every product list, every new PLR product, whatever, some people market to the list and market it to death. Don't jump on all of these bandwagons. You will build a very, very good relationship with your list if you only recommend good products. Now, I know marketers that will send you everything, and I mean everything. And I was curious about one of the products one of these marketers sent out, and I thought, well, it's only a few dollars. I'm a little bit curious. It sounds like it might be interesting, but it doesn't sound quite right. So I bought it, and I can honestly say I have never, ever read such a terrible report in my life. It looked like it had been written by a 4-year-old. The grammar was bad, the spelling was bad. There wasn't actually any content in it. It was information that I could have found in 10 minutes on Google, and I could have put together a better report than that in that 10 minutes. It was literally like copy and paste articles without actually any real information in there. There was nothing in it that you would read and go, oh wow, yeah, that's really useful. You'd read the whole report, get to the end of it and think, I just wasted 20 minutes of my life. But this marketer was promoting it. And then, do you know what was even worse? I saw, it was obviously a PLR report that people had bought from somewhere. I saw other people marketing it as well. I couldn't believe it. I ended up writing to loads of these people and saying, look, do you realise what it is you're promoting? Have you read it? And do you know what? 2 of them came back and said, no, we haven't looked at it at all. They've just promoted a product to their list without bothering reading it. Make sure you promote stuff that you know is good. You know, don't promote everything that comes along. Be selective. Your list will value you for it, and you'll build a better relationship as a trusted expert because of it. Particularly if the products that you recommend are good quality products, then you'll find your relationship with your list will improve further, because they know that you're not someone that's going to peddle rubbish to them. You're not a trash merchant. Anything you say is going to be good, and it's going to take a little while. It may take weeks or even months to build up that level of trust, but when you've got it, you're going to find that your conversion rate for messages that you send out selling things is going to go up significantly. Now, every product launch has its own set of pre-written emails, and everybody uses these to promote them. Don't do it. Don't use those pre-written emails. You may be tempted to, and you may think, oh, well, I'll just send that out. It'll be quick. You know what? It's going to just ruin your relationship with your list, because I will guarantee your list member, particularly in internet marketing, has probably received a dozen or more emails with that subject line, if not more. Yeah, everybody would send out the same message, and they'd read it and think, oh, God, not another product launch. And then they'd decide to either buy it from a trusted advisor, someone who they know can provide them with good information. They'd either pick the person that's offering the best bonuses, or not bother buying it at all. So if you write your own review of the product in your own, in your own words, you're going to get a better conversion rate. Particularly if you then say, well, if you decide to buy through my link, I'm going to give you these valuable bonuses, and make sure they are valuable. But one thing to do if you want to build a relationship is really to talk about yourself and have a personality. Don't be frightened to actually be somebody and have, maybe the personality is going to be slightly controversial. Maybe it's going to be, a shouty, angry person. Maybe it's going to be a nice person. Maybe it's just going to be you being friendly. Whatever it is, have a personality in your emails. Make sure it shines through. There's nothing worse than getting an email from someone that's been dead boring, because you're not going to read it. You want it to be friendly and chatty and good to get to. Now, if you've online personas different, then make sure it's in keeping with that persona. But don't be frightened to talk about yourself. One of the best lists I'm on, I regularly get movie reviews. The person who owns the list will send a message out, say, well, went to the cinema last night with the wife and we saw this movie, it was dreadful, or it was really good. And you get this lovely insight into his life, and you end up feeling like he's a friend, someone you know, yet you've never met him. And he has one of the highest conversion rates from his list that I know of. So talking about yourself will help build a relationship. If you don't build a relationship with your list, you are going to struggle to make sales to them. With a good relationship with your list, where you're in a position of trusted advisor, you're going to find that your conversion rate from any sales messages is going to go up. So make sure everything you do is focused on building this relationship.